What's going on, YouTube? It's John Davis from Lachlan Highlands Farm, coming at you from the Lachlan Highlands Farm Command Center. Whew, that's like the fourth take. I need more coffee. I can't say my own farm name. It's horrible. But coming at you from the Command Center, which is a spare bedroom in our basement. Super fancy, obviously. But wanted to upload another video here from the Ohio Grazing Conference. So if you know this guy, Greg Judy, I have read all of his books because they are fantastic. You'll know that he is a huge proponent of custom grazing. And custom grazing is basically being paid to raise somebody else's livestock, typically cows, to raise them on your land. And it's done for a variety of reasons. Usually it's done because the other rancher or farmer is overstocked and they need to get some animals off their land so that they can have grass left or not feed as much grain or whatever. I guess the lease rate, or what they would pay somebody to custom graze, is a lot less than what they would pay themselves in both labor and cash going out to keep those animals on their property. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's cash flow for the person who's custom grazing, and it is alleviation of financial burden and time burden for the farm that is leasing those cattle out. Greg's a huge proponent of it. I've had a hard time finding these people in Ohio. I think it's a cultural thing. There are beef ranches and beef cattle ranches in Ohio. We're one of them. We're a small one. And frankly, most of them are like us. Most of them are smaller operations. And it's kind of foreign to say, I'm going to give you my cows and pay you to do it when, why would I do that, right? The fellow that I interviewed in this interview coming up here lives in... It was either Michigan or Indiana. It'll say in the video. But he goes after organic dairy farms, which is something I never even considered. I always thought dairy cows and beef cattle, different thing, right? Yeah, if you're trying to sell them, but if you're to the end customer, sell the product to the end customer. But if you are custom grazing and all you're worried about is keeping them for a summer and a fall, or a spring, summer, and fall, adding weight to them and getting them ready for the dairymen to use, that's something I didn't even consider. Apparently, it costs about $3,000 for a dairyman to raise a heifer calf into a mama cow where she's actually producing milk for the dairy. I had no idea. They can save a lot of money by custom grazing those heifers until they're ready to go. So, ready to go and make money as, a dairy cow. Anyway, I don't want to give away the interview. I'll let you listen to the whole thing. Like and subscribe. LachlanHighlandsFarm.com. Check us out. Buy our meat. We ship it to all 48 states. We're a fifth-generation farm starting up from zero, and we want to leave a legacy for the next generation behind us with a functional, profitable farm, and this is how we start. So it does make a difference when you like and subscribe and check out our website, so please, please, please do that. Anyway, without further ado, here's the interview. God bless you. Thank you for watching. All right, so we're here at the Trees for Graziers booth. I'm obviously an amateur video guy because I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. But Joshua and I started a conversation about custom grazing cattle, which is something we're super interested in. I hear Greg Judy talk about it all the time, but it's harder to put that into practice than... it's actually probably pretty easy to put into practice, but I have a hard time finding people to do that. So anyway, Joshua, the conversation that we were having, the cattle that are on that screen there, those are cattle that you were custom grazing for a dairy farmer, right?
Right.
Okay. And you said you had to get certified organic to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So explain to me again, and sorry to make you repeat, but how did
no problem.
How did you find these guys to custom graze?
I'm hanging out at grazing conferences like this, and I mentioned it to a few people that I'd be interested in custom grazing, and a lot of them have really small acreages, so they're trying to optimize their forages for their dairy cattle. And then, as I sort of explained to you, the poor dairy heifers are kind of the last thing to get attention on these farms. And so when I custom graze for them, not only do they get my forage, they also get my services to take care of those cattle.
Sure.
So it's kind of a win-win for them when they figure out, when they actually do the math on how much it costs them to raise up the dairy heifer.
And what did you say? How much is it to raise up a dairy heifer?
It's about $3,000.
That's a lot.
From having a calf till they're actually ready to freshen. And that consists of milk that comes out of the bulk tank to feed them. A lot of times they'll have dry nurse cows that they keep them on until they wean. And then they have to provide organic baleage for them if they don't have enough, forage base on their own home farms.
Sure.
So
how was it hard to get certified organic? Because that's something we've never looked into, but it's not a big deal for what we do, but for the dairy people, that's like a huge deal, isn't it?
I kind of almost forgot about it to the end. I did some of the paperwork, and they pushed me through really fast. It really wasn't that hard.
Really? Okay.
Because I don't have any crops on my farm. It's been in grass. I haven't sprayed anything on my farm for like 12 years.
Yeah.
So it's really not a big deal. Just I had to put a grazing plan together. I had to show some records.
Okay.
Have a plan for keeping my organic cattle from any kind of other feeds that I might have on the farm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That sort of thing.
What? Where'd you find a contract for that? Like, how'd you put the contract together for the custom grazing?
I found some from one of my buddies in Virginia who'd done a bunch of custom grazing. He sent me a whole bunch of contracts.
Good.
They were all full of legalese. I kind of simplified it so I could understand it.
Yeah.
And, the bottom line is you can have a contract, but you got to have somebody you can work with.
Yep.
One of the complications, one of the farms sent cows from Maryland to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pretty long drive.
Pretty long drive.
So in that situation, trucking is a big part of the whole bill. So sending cows back wasn't an easy option. So.
Yeah. Oh, was it not in the contract of who's going to pay for what? Or?
No, it was in the contract who was paying for trucking. It's just that if there's a problem animal, it's harder to address that.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
And in most custom grazing contracts, you want to have the ability to send animals that jump over the fence home right off the bat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would send them someplace else on my farm if they were my animals, so it's a little colder. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Austin in the background is going,
we don't want these animals here.
No. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna release you from the camera, and I'm gonna steal Austin for a minute.
Oh, yeah, he'd love to talk, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.